Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I have a special guest, my best bud.
What's up?
Aaron Doughty.
I'm Aaron.
He's Aaron. And today we're going to talk about the truth about old souls and why so many old souls are here now. The other day I posted this Instagram post, probably not to anyone's surprise, 5 signs you are an old soul. And there was apparently a lot of old souls that resonated with that post. That post got a lot of action. A lot of people really related with it. And now Aaron and I both are kind of already have been aware that there are already a lot of old souls on the planet. But what's really interesting is there are so many that are becoming aware of not their identity as an old soul, but of the fact that they do have kind of a real deep connection to something more than this present incarnation, and that they are in fact here for an important purpose. And there are a lot of old souls on the planet right now. So Aaron and I are going to talk about that. First thing I want to mention about old souls is that they are not special. A lot of people think I make these videos as a means of hyping up people's egoic identities. Oh, there's the old souls, the empaths, the light workers, starseeds. Yeah. It's not like that. It's not like that. A lot of people, a lot of the old souls, a lot of the light workers, starseeds, etc., they're extremely intuitive. They have a strong purpose here, but they operate differently here on Earth, and they always question themselves. They don't really trust or follow their inner guidance. So I use these videos as a way of sort of encouraging them to kind of do what already has felt right, even if it's not really condoned or supported or encouraged by their folks or their coworkers or their friends. But anyway, so with that said, old souls are not special. They're like doctors. Doctors, they go to college, they study a lot, and they come out and they're extremely good and skilled and proficient at a particular area of life. Well, I look at Earth like one big college where you can go to school for many different things. Old souls come in and they say, you know what, I'm gonna remain a little bit more tapped into source so that I can kind of draw from that wisdom for a particular purpose, where somebody else might come in and say, you know what, I'm gonna purposely sever myself off more so I can have more of these different types of lessons that you get only from being less unconscious. So that's, I want to preface with that. Say, we're not trying to boast anyone's egos. Neither of us care or identify with being an old soul. But with that said, for conversation's sake, there are old souls, and a lot of you are watching this right now. We want to help you out. So
yeah, and the way I view it as well is that this is something I say for any video I make on starseeds. Every single person on the planet is multidimensional, whether they're aware of it or not. So it's like we're special because we're starseeds, we're special because we're old souls. Everyone's a multidimensional being. In a way, we come into reality, we forget who we are as the larger aspect of us because we go through conditioning. But some of us may wake up a little bit quicker. Maybe a lot of us go through pain as well that are in the spiritual awakening type information. And that kind of accelerates our growth in a certain way. And we are all playing different roles. Even when you look out into, when you look out, you learn about how some things in the government are kind of controlled and the cabal and all of this like negative stuff. Even when you look at all of that, they're still playing a certain role. Maybe that's the role they played because part of our realities, we all wanted to wake up to who we are. And we wanted to wake up to us being these eternal spiritual beings. And right now is a time for transformation on the planet. And because we all wanted to wake up, we needed some people to give us some type of limitation. Because otherwise, there's nothing to wake up from. So in a way, every single one of us is a multidimensional being. However, old souls, starseeds, these are terms, labels that we use to understand who we are at a greater level and just what our purpose in life is, or what we came in tapped in ready to do. So it's more of having that realization. So in a way, yes, it's the thing I say, because sometimes I know with certain labels as well, we start to see ourselves as separate from other people. We're like, well, I'm an old soul, you're a, and maybe, what is your opinion on this as well? When I think of old souls, is it an old soul somebody that has had a lot of lifetimes specifically on Earth? Because I know some of us may feel like we've had some lifetimes on Earth, but not a lot. But an old soul, from what I understand, can actually also be just someone that has and carries a lot of wisdom from other lifetimes on different, not just Earth. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
That's the way I look at it, especially now. We are going to talk about the volunteer souls. A lot of the old souls here aren't really old in terms of earthly incarnations. In fact, a lot of people who are a lot of the wisest, most tapped in people right now on the planet have never been here before.
Yeah.
They do primarily dwell in other realms
Reality
of
systems,
existences.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the way I look at it look at an old soul is someone who kind of what I mentioned before is able to draw from
source energy,
a higher percentage than normal of their origin,
right?
Whether it's an extraterrestrial, but just the wisdom gained from their soul's journey.
I agree.
All of us are old souls.
Yeah.
Just not everyone really is that as connected to that wisdom.
It's a funny thing because we're actually eternal spiritual beings.
Yeah, there is no hierarchy.
There's no hierarchy, but there's also just no, like, we exist and we always exist.
Yes.
It's just in this time space, in 3D we think of things linearly. So we're like, oh, I was this in a past life, and then this, and then this, and then this. But we've existed much more beyond what we can even imagine.
Yeah.
It's just that I think some of us are just, I guess, a little bit more aware of that. But then we have some of the newer, and also almost anybody watching this video, this isn't like an ego push or anything like that. Our natural state of being, our natural state of consciousness is much more high vibrational than where we are right now. All of us have what we could call 5D existences, where we can do things beyond what we can do in this reality. That's part of us being multidimensional. We just might not remember that when we wake up in the morning. But in these higher realms, we can do things much quicker. Things don't take as much time for things. We're outside of the realm of time. But that's actually our natural state. So that's why I think sometimes people get so frustrated with things in this reality, because things happen so much slower. So I see a common theme for a lot of starseeds and a lot of what we call starseeds is patience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know me and you especially, we're like, oh, we just always want to, you know what I mean? I think we're used, all of us are in a way used to moving very quickly, but here there's time, space, reality so that we can have a more stretched out experience with more that we learn. But every single one of you watching this right now have existences in these higher states of consciousness. We're just dreaming because 3D Earth, from what I understand, which now we're transitioning to a higher density, but here, it's one of the most difficult places to be because we forget the degree of separation that we have, the perceived perception that we have from source energy is more here than any other place. I know Bashar's talked about this before. Some places we go that we incarnate into, even like 3-4D realities, we incarnate, we remember who we are. So we remember that we are eternal spiritual beings, or we remember our connection, like, oh, I chose my mom or my dad, or however we're born into that reality. We remember that.
Right.
Here, we forget. Then we go through a lot of pain. Many of us go through a lot of things that wake us up into spiritual awakening, which isn't always normally pleasant. But then that leads us to, us going through transformation. But to be on Earth right now as well, I don't remember where I was reading this, but in order to be on Earth right now, you have to be a master soul. Once again, it's not an ego push. It's not like, oh, you should feel, but you have to be able to carry a certain amount of energy. I was reading this just a couple nights ago. You have to be able to carry a certain amount of energy and be able to bring this bright light down into this much density to have the kind of experience here. And it's something that not everybody can do. Not everybody gets to do this. You have to really be ready for it. And if you're here, then you are ready for it. But it's something to not think of us, sometimes we hear about higher dimensional beings and all of this stuff, and then we feel insignificant, like, am I not that evolved because I'm here on Earth? No. Like Bashar says, you guys are masters.
Yeah.
Because it's the masters of limitation.
Right.
But you have to be a master soul to be here right now. Doesn't mean ego, because we're not really our egos. These are just little temporary forms we use. But it's powerful to know, because then we have something to draw more from. We can draw more from our true source. No, we don't have to completely identify with our 3D ego, thinking, oh, this is who I am. I'm not,
Right.
So,
and that's what I find so impressive about old souls, is a lot of people watching this, us included, have sort of come in here and experienced a lot of hard times and pain.
Yeah.
Like you had a very abusive and crazy stepmom that was controlling. I was hit by a firecracker at a young age and went through heroin addiction and all sorts of crazy shit. But the old soul has just enough connection to where they can come in here, sort of forget who they are, go through these earthly painful cycles, and still hold on to enough of their source to adapt and to evolve and to transmute these challenging experiences. And that's what we're seeing now. A lot of the old souls, at least earlier in their lives, they find themselves weary, they find themselves not fitting in, but they have just enough of what it takes to really regardless of circumstances and what they're going through, they have enough to transcend it and persevere. And that's why so many are here right now, in my opinion, because a lot of the people, like Earth has become, in a sense, just too fucked up, too dense, too messed up, to where people are just lost in their karma, and they're drowning in it. So that's why so many old souls are here, and they're like, you know what? It ain't gonna be easy. It's not, like you said, it's not that we're unevolved and we can't do any better. It's that we're so, all of us, not even the non-old souls or whatever, if you want to label them that way. Everybody, like you said, comes here because they want to see what they got. We're eternal souls. It's like, you know what? Maybe we got bored in the higher realm. Just I want to do this and this. Let's go really challenge ourselves here. And that's what we're doing here, and that's why it's so interesting and fascinating the time we're living in. But one thing I wanted to mention, sort of going back to what you said, which I really liked. I liked how we pointed out the fact that, like, it doesn't serve us to judge and to label the bad guys, the controlling governments. They're literally helping us. They're literally reflecting energies we have within ourselves. And the problem is they're on top of their game. They're being as negative as they can possibly be. It's the old souls who are still kind of, a lot of them, in their slumber, not really living up to their potential, which is what the earth needs now. We need that balance. We need the old souls to revolt and to become their badass selves that we all, have the potential to be. That's one of my main motivators for making this video right here.
A lot of people that are old souls, or are people that are here to help wake up other people, are gonna find themselves attracted to this video, because you can only perceive that which you are the vibration of. And I think, when we talk about Dolores Cannon, the volunteer souls, it's like there was a call that was put out, and this call that was put out went to everyone, went to so many different souls. It was like the earth was in trouble. They say, and if you haven't heard of Dolores Cannon, she has work where it's a really deep level of hypnosis, and she would have her clients get into this really deep level of this, like, the subconscious mind, and information would come through. Like, why did you incarnate at this time? What is this main challenge you're experiencing in your life? Who were you in past lives, or what did you experience in past lives that are like leaking into this life, things like that. People all over the world said they came here right now for the shift in consciousness. Now, what she also said was that back in like the 1940s, when one of the atomic bombs went off, she said there was a call that was put out into the universe. Now, the reason being is we as a society have free will. However, when that free will starts to affect other star systems, that's when an intervening happens. So because there was a nuclear bomb went off, that doesn't just affect Earth, that affects all the neighboring star systems, that affects everything. That's like a big deal, nuclear power or whatever it is with that. There's a purpose behind that. So because of that, then it's like, okay, we need to interfere with this. We don't want Earth to destroy herself. Earth is a being as well. And what we decided to do is that, we heard the call. This is what Dolores Cannon, and I think it's the three waves of volunteers. She says, many souls heard the call. These are what we call light workers. These are what we call old souls. Heard the call, and we decided to come here to forget who we are. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. We're going to forget who we are to then remember, because we're here to wake people up to who they are, to go through this shift in consciousness so that we're able to reclaim and help Earth to go through this transition. So if you heard the call, then that's the purpose of the old souls, many of us, is we heard the call. We came here. We may, and the thing is too, this is how I think about it. We may have had past lives in Atlantis when we were at a different level of consciousness, in Lemuria, and all these magical times that we know not that much about because we didn't learn it in school, but nonetheless times that Edgar Cayce talks about, and we may have had lives during those times, and then we decided to leave Earth, and we had times, in different star systems and all of this different stuff. But then what happened is we heard the call, and we felt a deep love for Earth because we had some past life here, some connection to Earth that we wanted to help out with. And also, never before, from what I understand, never before has a whole entire planet with this much density gone from where we are in third density to fourth density. Never before has it happened. So this is like, there is such a demand to be here. I remember in Dolores Cannon books, they were talking about it, how there was like this, there are so many souls trying to come here right now that there was like this vision of like somebody trying to get into Earth, and there was somebody that was saying, okay, you can come to Earth, like somebody that was like guarding, like which souls get to come in. It's like, do you remember this? It's like, you get to come in, but you're going to live in a third world country. You're probably going to die at like 5 or 6 years old. Like, these are the probable timelines for you. And the person's like, I don't even care. I just want to be on to say I was on earth for this shift in consciousness. So not only are you on earth for this shift in consciousness, but you are aware of this information and you get to help earth wake up because you're a light worker. You're somebody here right now that's like an old soul, somebody that's here that's helping people to wake up, whether you realize it or not. But my guess is if you're watching this video, then you resonate with that at some level. So it's interesting to me. It's such a desire to be here, and I feel so grateful to be here with everyone else, and we're all doing this together. You know?
Yeah, I like that you said that because a lot of the old souls, they don't want to be here. Yeah. They have some kind of like, in a sense, maybe a soul memory of how it used to be,
how amazing it is up there,
it was, and how much the lighter the vibes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it really is an honor. In fact, I remember that section in the book. And I think
always remember that.
The way it was put was like if someone could be here even for one day, they were like, sign me up, because they just want that notch on their soul's belt. Yeah. Like, I was there at that time, that special, unique time in history. Yeah. So I'm really glad you brought that up to get people sort of psyched up and inspired and grateful to be here. Because I try to be. Sometimes life gets hard and we fall into our problems and whatnot. But
something else I want to mention too about something that you kind of made me think about is, one time Victor and I were talking, and Victor's like telling me, he's like, we may not come to earth, we might not be physical as often as we are. So one thing that Victor's telling me, Victor was like, so I like to, we like to eat good food. We like to enjoy the senses, not get identified with it and like get ourselves lost in our senses. But it really helps, it helped me to appreciate life more. Because it's like, maybe we don't incarnate into a physical reality like this very often. So yes, enjoy food, enjoy life. I know in 2012 when I went through my first initial awakening, similar to you, it's like kind of resisted being here. Like, I'm still here. I don't want to necessarily be here. I want to just go back home. A lot of people that are we have this tendency to say, I want to go back home. But then you realize, I'm here for a reason. And not only that, but what if I can enjoy it? What if I can enjoy, not just sleeping, but the food and the connection and the different things that reality has to offer. And having that perception for me has been helpful. Yeah. That helped me to like really absorb and just have fun and just enjoy. Still do it with awareness, it doesn't mean I'm like eating like horrible foods all the time, but it means I can like let go a little bit more, be like, I wanted to have this physical experience and to enjoy the process, because it may be that after, who knows, we don't have this experience for a while. Right. We have more flexibility in higher realms, and we don't get to experience, manifestation where you think about it and then you get to visualize it, then you get to act it out, In higher realms, it might just be there, it's done. So you're like, oh, I kind of wanted to soak in the process, Yeah, it's like listen to a song and just hearing the end, you know what I mean? Like, well, I kind of wanted to like hear the big, loud part and then the soft part.
See how it was made and...
Yeah, like I wanted to be a part of that process,
Yeah, it's like when in Rome. It's like when on earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Do what the earthlings do, right?
I like that.
Yeah, that's something I can't know for sure, but I have a sense personally that I don't oftentimes come into this physical world. Yeah. So I have I try to allow myself to enjoy the earthly indulgences and the pleasures. Me and him, we eat these massive. In fact, we ate so much last night. He said he wanted to go on a run. And I'm like, bro, let's do this video. He's like, well.
I was like, okay. But it's just, we ate so much food last night. It was really good, but we don't do it every night. We don't overeat. We for sure overate last night.
We did. We ate like 3 days worth of food. But the point is, I was just like you, where back in like 2011, I was on a pure liquid diet.
I remember.
I was doing nothing but meditating. I had no friends. I didn't do anything. I was literally trying to ascend. Yeah, I was trying to evaporate on a physical reality, right? Yeah. But then but I was like, why am I so unhappy and unbalanced and ungrounded and miserable and judgmental and disconnected from realities? Well, I was in extreme resistance, so it's like, we're not encouraging you to go out and binge out, but we're trying to really just hype you up and say, it is a special opportunity to be here, especially if you're here watching a video of this nature. That means you are in this process of waking up to your old soul nature and your old soul mission. And when you begin to kind of express that and carry that out, that will remind you why you came. Yeah. Like even what we're doing now, it's fun. Yeah. It's joyful. We don't need external things. It's just us, communication, the camera. It's our mission. We love it. And it feels great. And it took me until this point to really once I started kind of expressing myself and busting through my own blocks and insecurities and just being who I really knew myself to be, that's when where I became like happy to be here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to add? We've kind of just bounced around a lot,
No,
but
I liked
there's
it.
a lot of
It was
good
kinda
information, I think.
Yeah, I think that the more the old souls find their purpose, or not even just find their, I think old souls' purpose pretty much is just to
be.
It's just to be. Like,
Be themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
And whatever that means to each individual person. But I think that it's exciting. Like, the thing I'll just end with is, like, I think it's the most exciting time to be alive ever, and it's time to enjoy the process, but also to really be bold with why we came here. Because, like we talked about, the Cabal members or whatever it is,
yeah.
you know, they're set in place so that we could take our power back.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had a couple moments in my life where I had a choice, like putting out, like for me, like putting out a Starseed video was like a big deal a couple months ago, because I've been wanting to make videos on that since 2012. But I became known as like this law of attraction guy, and I started to become, started to grow my YouTube channel, and I'm like, people expect me to be this way. But then I remember I had this choice. It's like I could either just reassert what I know works, and I could reassert how people expect me to be, or I can just be myself and share something I've wanted to talk about forever and be bold. And I realized I didn't come here to just like re-emphasize an old paradigm.
Yes.
You know, people have been learning about the law of attraction for a while. Nothing wrong with it. I love it. But I came here to be bold, just like you did. You came here to be bold. You didn't come here to just kind of, go through the motions of a job you don't like. You didn't come here to just do things that scrape by. You came here to be bold. You came here to express yourself. You came here as an old soul with someone to draw upon this source energy in a way that inspires other people to do it as well. So remember that. You came here to be bold. You didn't come here to play it soft, to play it easy. And that's empowering, because now we want to be here so bad, whether we know that or not. I hear Abraham Hicks talk about that sometimes too. She's like, if you knew how bad you wanted to get inside of these bodies, you wouldn't be trying so hard to get out of them. You know what I mean?
Really? She said that?
Yeah,
Nice.
Something like that. Like, we're always trying to astral project and all of this stuff, but she's like, you know how bad you want to be in your bodies.
Yeah.
From the non-physical form. Like, we really want to be here.
Right,
so it's
right.
like we just don't know that because we have a veil of forgetfulness. But we're remembering now, and I think in 5 or 10 years on the planet, it's just so much going to happen. I think it's so exciting to be alive, even right now, this year we're in. Like, I think it's just so cool,
Yeah, and I like what you said about being bold. And here's what I found, and you probably have as well. I know, I remember Aaron, like we would talk about this kind of stuff, and he would always say, I just want to share about this on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like you've discovered what I discovered long ago, is like when I just share, not bold like pushy, but bold as in unapologetically, this is who I am.
Exactly.
And this is what I think about life.
Yeah.
There's actually a good response.
There is.
You tend to
100%.
attract the people that will resonate with what you have to say, and that will kind of it's not as challenging as we make it. You might push away the people that won't resonate. Obviously you will, but that's okay too, because you're sort of it's a way to gather your tribe as well, and it's not as challenging to do. Like, it feels easier for me just to be myself than to go through life trying not to rustle anyone's feathers.
Yes.
So
100%.
Rustle those feathers, my friends. That's the purpose of this video. Aaron, thank you, brother, for coming on. We never shake hands. I don't know why that came from.
I was like, okay, bro.
Where can people find you online? Aaron creates
YouTube.
awesome content too.
Thank
He's a
you.
YouTuber. He has a lot of good Instagram stuff. He has a newsletter.
And YouTube, Aaron Doughty.
Aaron, how do you spell that for them?
AARON, and then Doughty, DOUGHTY.
Okay, I'll leave a link.
Cool, thank you.
But thanks, bro, for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's a cool little spontaneous video. I like it.
You're welcome. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, so definitely check him out. We'll leave buttons down below. Have an amazing day, my friends. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your old soul boldness. We'll look forward to seeing it expressed out there in the world. And until next time, peace.
Peace.